Good day to everyone out there. Welcome to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And let's not waste no time. Let's get right to it, okay? So, I want to make some additional points from my last video. What I said about why the NBA's audience has gone down 70% since 1998. Okay. And I mentioned a few reasons. There are no more rivalries. The game is played by kids today, not men. And physicality has been completely eliminated in today's game. The only time they allow physicality is in the NBA playoffs. Okay. So, but other than that, physicality has been virtually eliminated from the NBA. So I just want to make a few follow-up points about what I said, about other reasons why. And there was a episode of NBA Open Court that I was watching, okay? And they were having a discussion about the NBA is getting better at blank. And the NBA needs to improve on blank. Okay? So they went in around asking players what the NBA was missing, what the NBA was getting better at. And Kenny Smith said, and one of the things that Kenny Smith said was, one thing that the NBA is missing is team play. Okay? That's one thing that the NBA is missing in today's game, team play. And so I would say the closest thing to team play that I've seen has been the Golden State Warriors, okay? That's the closest that I can think of. But yeah, Kenny Smith said the NBA is missing team play. Then it came around to Charles Barkley, who always keeps it 100. Charles said the NBA is missing a veteran liaison. Okay. What Charles meant when he said the NBA is missing a veteran liaison is a guy who has played like between 10 to 15 years, 16 years, okay? A guy who has played in the league a long time, who has experience and can be a role model for the younger guys, okay? So, I was just thinking about a few examples, and the few ones that popped into mind in my head were, when Grant Hill came to the Detroit Pistons, he had Joe Dumars as a mentor, okay? When Shaquille O'Neal first came to the Orlando Magic, he had Scott Skiles, Jeff Turner, and Greg Kite to show him other ropes. When Mitch Richmond was drafted by the Golden State Warriors, he credited Ralph Sampson for mentoring him about the game and the game of life. Okay. So, Michael Jordan, when he came into the league, he had a guy by the name of Rod Higgins, who played for the Chicago Bulls in his rookie season. Jordan had one of the veterans on the team, Rod Higgins, who was one of his close friends. Jordan had Rod Higgins. Okay. Reggie Miller had Dr. Jack Ramsey as his first head coach. And Vern Fleming had been there for the past 4 years, okay, when Reggie Miller was drafted. So, and Tracy McGrady made a follow-up point on Charles Barkley's point. Tracy McGrady said, because Tracy McGrady was drafted right out of high school, okay, NBA Hall of Famer. He was drafted right out of high school, and he said he had veterans like Kevin Willis, Muggsy Bogues, Dale Curry, Charles Oakley. No, Tracy McGrady had all those guys, as did Vince Carter when he came into the league. He had all of those veteran influences. So, that's just another reason why. Tracy McGrady said, and now teams today don't have that because your oldest player is kind of like 28, 29. No, that's probably much been eliminated. And Steve Smith also made a follow-up point. He said, Steve Smith said, the Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, Portland Trailblazers, Steve Smith said that he can't stand the zone defense. Okay. Steve Smith says the zone defense is just taking so much away from the game. He said, he also said that the game has changed so much European style now, or something like that. Steve Smith did not like the zone defense. He doesn't like it. Okay. And I think he said that the zone defense has eliminated like big men from the game as well. So then Charles Barkley kind of made an interesting point. He said, I don't think the big man has disappeared or vanished. I just don't think there are that many guys in the NBA that are big. Okay. And look down the history of the game from George Mikan on up to 2005. Okay. How many great big men have there really been? I would say probably less than 20. Less than 20, I say. No. Some of the ones that I could think of were George Mikan, of course. George Mikan, Wilt, Russell, Nate Thurman, Kareem, Wes Unseld, Elvin Hayes, Parrish, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shaq, I know I'm missing a few, man. Hakeem, yep. Hakeem Olajuwon. Can't believe I couldn't remember Olajuwon. Yeah. Good old silly old me. But yeah, those are some of other ones off the top of my head, but no. But so Steve Smith thinks his own defense took away the big man, and Charles Barkley thinks there are just not that many guys that are big. Okay, so interesting point. I talked about how in the last video where there are no more rivalries, there are no more team rivalries, there are no more individual rivalries in the NBA anymore, and it got me to thinking some of the best rivalries in the NBA. Of course, Lakers Celtics are VIPs, so don't need to talk about that. That's a VIP right there. Bulls Pistons, talk about that a little bit. The first time they met in the playoffs was 1988 when Chicago went 50-32 that year. Detroit easily won 4-1. Then for the next 3 years, they met in the Eastern Conference Finals, okay? And prior to the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals, where the Bulls had the home court advantage, okay? During the regular season, because Marv Albert brought this up during the broadcast, Marv Albert said, over the last 4 years, the Chicago Bulls 12-28 against the Detroit Pistons over the last 4 years. That included the regular season and the playoffs combined. Okay, so the Bulls were combined 12-28 over the last 4 years. Okay, and so of course the Bulls swept up the Pistons, and the rest is history. Oh, lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, something I wanted to show y'all. Yeah, something I wanted to show y'all. Okay. Yeah, something I want to show y'all. Yeah, something I want to show y'all. Okay, so I mentioned in one of the previous videos how the seeds of the Bulls Pistons rivalry was really planted in the 85 All-Star game. The seeds were really planted in the 85 All-Star game, and the seeds were really planted then. So it was the third game of the 1986 season, okay? This is before Jordan injured his foot, okay? Okay. So Jordan going to the hole, of course, Bill Laimbeer, be the agitator he is, fouled him in a way that Jordan didn't like. Jordan didn't like it. And so, again, it's the third game of the 86 season. And watch what happens. And watch what happens after Bill Laimbeer fouls Jordan hard. Just watch what happens. I'm going to spoil it for you, okay? Watch what happens.
Set the pick. Jordan lost it. Billy Johnson and Laimbeer just fired at Jordan. Michael doesn't like it. And now Woolridge is telling Laimbeer to get away. Stan Albeck, losing his cool, comes charging across the floor. Daly says, Stan, get on your chair. And now Daly and Albeck. How do you like this? When do you ever see this? Chuck Daly wants a piece of Stan Albeck. And now Vinnie Johnson. Stan Albeck had no business being on the other end of the floor, even though he's protecting the superstar. And Daly said, get out of my end of the floor. Now the crowd is riled. Jordan's got to know if he's going to the hole, sometimes he's got to pay for it. Superstars don't get everything. And now Albeck has lost total control.
Stan, of course, is very emotional. Wanted to protect his player. But it was a good foul by Laimbeer. It was the smart foul, the correct foul.
Now, if a rivalry ain't born on that, okay, it was growing, okay? That rivalry was growing. So the seeds were planted in the 85 All-Star game. The freeze out of Jordan, okay? Then the rivalry started growing a little bit in 1986. But, of course, Jordan missed most of that year. Then it began gaining steam in 1987 and 88. when Jordan torched the Pistons in '87 for 61 points. Then he did it again in 1988 when he scored 59 in an overtime victory in Detroit, which the Bulls won on the road. Okay. And so Jordan averaged almost 33 points a game against the Pistons. Okay. But as the Pistons said, their philosophy was make him work for it. Okay. So yeah. I was reading one of Michael Jordan. I was reading a book on Jordan, and it said his point totals had reverberated like a taunt that season. And they were talking about the '88 season when he scored 59, 49, 48, 52, or something like that. So, yeah. So then you had Knicks Heat in the mid part of the 1990s. And that rivalry all started when Knicks fans felt that Pat Riley betrayed the New York Knicks when he went on to the Miami Heat. And the Knicks fans were really giving it to him when he first came back to the Garden in 95, 96. That first time he came back to the Garden, Knicks fans were really giving it to him. Okay. And so that's where the seeds were planted. Then it grew. In 1997, of course, P.J. Brown flips over Charlie Ward. Bench clearing brawl. The Knicks were up 3-1 that series. And that's who the Bulls thought they were going to play. So the Bulls, thinking they're going to play the New York Knicks, who are up 3-1. That fight changed the whole momentum of the series. And Miami comes back and wins the series in 7. And bad blood. And the rivalry, bad blood. It was bad blood from then on. There was absolutely zero respect there. Ask Tim Hardaway. He said it. Tim Hardaway said, they don't respect us, we don't respect them. Let's get it on. Okay? So, the Knicks, who lost Patrick Ewing in 97-98, 26 games into the season, he broke his wrist in Milwaukee. I've seen the video of him breaking his wrist in Milwaukee. And Ewing just let out one of the most when he broke his wrist, okay? So they lost Ewing for the season. And I believe they were the 7th seed that year, if I'm not mistaken. Because the New Jersey Nets were 8. I know that. The Bulls were the 1 seed. Everybody knows that. And they played the Miami Heat. And the series turned in Game 4 when the Knicks were about to tie the series at 2. Okay. Tim Hardaway put up a shot towards the end of the game. John Starks got the rebound. Starks begins dribbling down court. And then Mourning and Ewing. Pow, 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 pow. And if you listen to the guys on the broadcast, Vern Lundquist and Doc Rivers, I believe it was at the time. Doc Rivers said, and both of those guys will not be playing in Game 5. Doc Rivers was spot on when he said both of those guys will not be playing in Game 5. And not only did Doc Rivers say that, he also said that's old blood from Charlotte. I'm like, ooh wee. Yes. Gold. What Doc Rivers said on the broadcast was gold. Okay. Johnson and Mourning, old blood from Charlotte. Okay. And so, That fight changed the tone of the series. The Knicks won Game 5 pretty easily. Lockout shortened season of 1999. The Knicks are the 8th seed. Miami's won. Series is tied 2-2, back and forth. And of course, Allen Houston's shot wins it for the Knicks. I still remember Tom Hammonds on the NBL NBC. I still remember that call. Houston to Alexander, got it with 8 tenths left. And when Allen Houston hit the shot, okay, this is the part that gets me the most, okay? Allen Houston hits the shot, okay? When Allen Houston hits the shot and runs back down on the court, celebrating, okay? There was still like a 1 second left on the clock. Look at the faces of the Miami Heat after that shot went in. Okay, look at the faces of the Miami Heat after that shot went in. And the first shot they showed was P.J. Brown, okay, after that shot went in. The shot goes in, P.J. Brown's like, it was at that point right there that the Miami Heat knew they lost. They lost. The Miami Heat knew they lost the game because P.J. Brown, first facial expression they showed was P.J. Brown, who was like, then I saw Tim Hardaway bending over, pulling his shorts like, shaking his head like, and then after Terry Porter missed at the buzzer, they showed Alonzo Mourning. They showed the famous shot of Alonzo Mourning like, he was just infuriated. Alonzo Mourning just had the most infuriating look on his face walking off the court, okay? Oh, man. And, so the teams meet again in 2000. And if you don't remember, the Heat had the home court advantage again that year. So they had the home court advantage in 97, 98, 99, and 2000, okay? And they had the home court advantage again. And the reason why they had the home court advantage was because of this. I remember this game. So the Knicks are playing the Heat during the regular season in Miami. And the Knicks have the lead. Okay? I'm thinking the game is over. Okay? I'm thinking the game is over. The Knicks have won. So they inbound the ball to Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway takes one of the most ridiculous shots I have ever seen. He just throws it up there. And it went in. He just threw it up there from behind the three-point line. And it went in. And the Knicks were like, what the F? So that gave the home court advantage to the Miami Heat for that head series. Again. So the series is tied at 3-3. And so Game 7 is being played in Miami. And so Miami has the ball, okay? I don't think it was the last possession of the game. I think it was the next to last possession of the game. So Miami has the ball, okay? I can't remember who was dribbling the ball. But what I do remember is they got the ball into Clarence Weatherspoon's hands. Okay. Clarence Weatherspoon took the last shot for the Miami Heat. Okay. That's what I do remember. Clarence Weatherspoon took the last shot for the Miami Heat, and it barely drew iron. Sprewell grabs the rebound. Knicks call timeout. They inbound the ball. Sprewell holds the ball all up. Miami loses again. So, with that being said, the Heat had home court advantage for 4 straight years in the NBA playoffs over the Knicks. They were 1-3. 1-3. And not only that, this just popped into my mind, okay? Not only that, they lost 3 straight elimination games to the Knicks at home. 98, 99, 2000. They lost 3 straight elimination games to the Knicks in the playoffs. That is insane. That is insane. Oh my God. Whew. Man. That's insane to think. That's insane to think about. Man. That's kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who under Bill Cowher lost 4 straight AFC championship games at home. Think about that, okay? Think about that, okay? That's staggering, man. 3 straight elimination games at home. Oof. Which moves me to the Sacramento Kings and Lakers. I think the season of this rivalry was sown in 1999, when the Kings finally had a team that could compete in the West. So the season of this rivalry was sown in 1999 with Chris Webber and J. Will. And they met in the playoffs 3 straight years, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, actually 4 straight years, okay. Lakers 1-5 in 2000. Wait. I got my math wrong. Okay, yeah, I had my math wrong. 3 straight years. Yes, it was 3 straight years. Okay. So, Lakers 1-5 the first meeting, but the Kings felt, they were on the up and up because Kings players have felt that they had put a little bit of scare into the Lakers in that 5-game series in 2000. But Lakers came right back and pretty much swept the Kings off the court in the second round in 2001. Okay. Which was pretty damn easy, in which Kobe Bryant had 48 points in Game 4. And this is a hiding game. Yeah, Kobe Bryant had 48 points in the deciding game against Sacramento. So, yeah. And I remember after the Lakers won Game 3, Kobe said, it sounds kind of savage to say, but we want to cut their hearts out. Definitely. We want to cut their hearts out. Well, let's just say Kobe went out and almost single-handedly did it himself by scoring 48. Okay? So then the Mike Bibby trade happens, okay? Now the Kings really can't compete with the Lakers, okay? They can really compete. And so Sacramento had the best record in the league that year. And it was very, very, very clear in the Western Conference Finals. Whoever won the Western Conference Finals, they were easily going to beat the New Jersey Nets, okay? The New Jersey Nets really weren't supposed to be there, okay? And Brent Musburger even said it himself after the Nets defeated the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Brent Musburger said, maybe the world is flat after all. The New Jersey Nets are headed to the NBA Finals. That was what Brent Musburger said on the radio broadcast. Okay, so But the Lakers won game one. Kings won game two, and the Kings beat the Lakers pretty convincingly in game three, 103-90, which really wasn't close. It really wasn't a close game. But I do remember a sequence where the Lakers scored like 14 straight points in like a couple of seconds. So the Lakers had a 14-0 run where they kept forcing turnovers on inbounds passes. So Lakers hit a few threes, whatnot. But other than that, it was pretty much a rout. And it was headed that way in game four when you may remember Samaki Walker hit a three just before halftime that Kings players say that really should not have counted. Samaki Walker hit a three from half court. And of course, Ori, Lakers charge back. Ori hits the game winner. Ade says it's a lucky shot. Kings win a close one in game six. Shaq overpowers the King. Kings win a close one in game five. Okay. I'll stand here corrected. Shaq overpowers the Kings in game six. Okay. And game seven comes, and the Lakers experience pretty much pays off in the overtime victory. And Derek Fisher said to win the first game and the last game in their building. That's the way you want to do it when you talk about being a champion. Okay. And of course, I remember the Indiana and the Pacers of 1995 won game one in the Knicks building when Reggie Miller scored 8 points in a couple of seconds. Then they win game seven in their building, in the Knicks building. So yeah. And the last rivalry I want to speak on is well, I actually have more rivalries, but I'm gonna bring it to you in another video. I have one great rivalry I want to talk about alone. I'm going to do that in another video. But Lakers Spurs was a real rivalry too. Lakers Spurs was a real rivalry. They first met in 1983, where the Lakers won in 6. I remember San Antonio had the ball at the end of game 6. Johnny Moore took the shot. Gilmore grabs the rebound. Time runs out. Lakers win 101 to 100. So then they met again in 1988. No, 86. You know, Lakers pretty much easily swept them off the court. It was a blowout all 3 games. Lakers swept them off the court in 86, then swept them again in 87. Okay. And so, fast forward to 1999, I believe. Yeah, 1999. Spurs and Lakers. San Antonio sweeps the Lakers in 4. And Kobe Bryant said it himself. Looking back at it, the Lakers weren't close to being a championship team. Okay. So they meet again in 2001, okay, in the Western Conference Finals. And the Spurs had kind of felt that the Lakers' 2000 title was tainted. Because if you remember, Tim Duncan got injured during the Phoenix Suns series in the first round. The Spurs played the Suns in the first round in 2000. But Tim Duncan got hurt, okay, which opened the door for the Suns to defeat the Spurs and going to play the Lakers in the next round, okay? So, come 2001, Duncan is healthy. And as I mentioned, the Spurs feel like the Lakers' 2000 title was tainted because Tim Duncan wasn't healthy. Well, Kobe came out and scored 45 in game 1. Okay, Kobe goes out, scores 45 in game 1. Lakers win. Game 2, Spurs are on top of their game. I think they're led by as much as 18. And Phil Jackson gets thrown out. Lakers come back. And that was pretty much it for San Antonio. The Lakers won Game 3 by 37. And the Lakers won Game 4 by 29. Okay. 2002. They meet again. And the Spurs were all talking how they remembered how the Lakers treated them in the 2001 playoffs, swept them off the court. Well, needless to say, the Lakers pretty much won in 5. Okay, so there you have it. So, come 2003, the teams meet again. At this time, San Antonio was the best team in the league that year, by far. The Lakers, injuries had pretty much caught them 3 straight years of postseason runs. You got to remember something. The Lakers started out the 2003 season at 5-11. Okay, so they were not a good basketball team at the start of the year, mainly because age caught up to them. Shaq was injured the early part of that year, but it still finished 15-32. So Spurs take their first 2. Lakers take game 3 in a blowout. Spurs lead by 16 in game 4. Lakers come back. Then comes the infamous game 5, where the Spurs again jumped out to a big lead. Kobe Bryant leads a Laker comeback. Lakers have the ball at the end of the game. Kobe passes out to Ori. Just rimmed out. Oh, if that had happened, that would have been 3 straight years of the Spurs losing to the Lakers. But instead, they rimmed out. Spurs win game 6 in a blowout. Then, of course, you have the 2008 Western Conference Finals. Lakers defeat the Spurs, going to play the Celtics in the NBA Finals. So, yeah. Yep. All right. That's it and that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Peace out. See you all later.